Ian.
And hi, Brian from Regular Car Reviews.
Hello.
It's very nice to have you back on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been a while.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we're glad you're making the rounds because you just released a beautiful short film on the Volkswagen Westfalia, and we both really enjoyed it.
So thank you.
I'm excited to hear why now and why this different format.
We are making a pitch pilot that is going to be meant to it's meant to be presented to people with ties and hopefully bank accounts. They think Netflix, Amazon, Motor Trend on Demand, things like that.
Sure.
I want to build my silly car review channel out of YouTube. That doesn't mean that the show is going to stop on YouTube. Far from it. It only means that I want. Well, let's be honest here. I want some more money.
Right.
I want to own a house someday, man.
Right.
But I also want to find a new way to express myself that isn't. Well, YouTube is becoming ABC with their demonetization.
Yeah.
They don't, which isn't really their thing. They want to make money too. They got advertisers who want to sell products, and if you're going to just talk about your dick for a while, there's only so many advertisers that will go with that.
Right.
So that doesn't mean YouTube revenue has dropped, although it has during the Rona, because no one's working, no one's making products, no one's selling products, and the advertising rates fell in the toilet. So I guess it's sort of an opportune time, although no one's really making shows right now. We partnered with Visual Inclination, which is a studio in Toronto, which also it's like say it got picked up tomorrow. We're like, oh, all our camera guys are north of the border.
Right.
And the borders are kind of not too friendly right now. So they'd have a hard time getting down here or us going up there. So that's going to be interesting. But Top Gear can't last forever.
Right.
Someone's going to come in there and take their place. I was on a video game podcast earlier today, and they said, Top Gear just isn't, it's not a good car show. And even the three guys, Clarkson, Hammond, and May, said, yeah, this is not a good car show. It's just about three middle-aged men falling over. And which is true, but it works so well with their on-camera presence with each other. Regular cars gets rid of the host entirely. It's all done in voiceover with B-roll. So my pitch would be to my pitch to a executive would say first that, and then look, this already works on YouTube.
Right.
It's proven a success there.
Yeah, your metrics are there.
And here are some advertisers who already came along just for this one video that we're showing you. And two, this is something that's going to cost way less money than any modern car show. Your crew is going to be skeleton by TV standards, of course. We had 7 people working on that one video, and that was our biggest day. There were 7 people there. So as opposed to when I do regular car reviews, your average YouTube show, it's just myself and Nick Roman.
Right.
That's it. Plus the volunteer who becomes a third member of the crew.
Okay.
That's what the Vanagon Westfalia video is. It's a unbelievably polished 12-minute video that was shot in 8K. A red camera.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Some other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. The crew had a red, man.
So why not use it?
The raw file of this. Gosh, what would it be? Like the lower quality 4K one that you're watching on YouTube. That was 60 gigs.
Right.
One file.
Yeah.
So for 8. All right. So.
Yeah. So
120 gigabytes for one video, maybe. Now, of course, these reds shoot in a proprietary RAW format, which is probably even larger. I didn't even touch that camera. I just kind of looked at it.
When the camera guy showed up and he realized he was going to be pointing his incredibly expensive camera at a Volkswagen bus that was worth maybe like an eighth of his camera, was he like, are we guys serious right now? Or
Ivan has been on board. He's a fan of Ivan Verland, the main cinematographer and co-owner of the company. He's been a fan of regular car reviews. He came down. He does a lot. He does the Toronto, New York City run a lot. So, and I live near Interstate 78, going through Pennsylvania. You get on Interstate 78, you go right into Manhattan. I forget the tunnel that you take. So he came down a few years ago and just lent his skill to a RCR video. He didn't come down with the red. He came down with like, I forget what, Canon C300 or something equally insane.
Right.
So he came by, and filmed a deuce and a half. So some of the footage, if you saw that episode, that was Ivan Verland. With some handheld stuff and some stuff on tripods and sliders. And then we started talking about the idea of making an RCR pilot that could be sold to whoever.
Sure.
And I said, yeah, sure. Unknown how much work this one thing was going to be.
Right.
And there is a lot of work for one video, a lot of... do you know that one Simpsons episode where they filmed Radioactive Man in Springfield?
I can't remember. No.
I may be dating myself here.
I'm 42, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was this one phrase in there called Jiminy Jillikers, where we have to rehearse the Jiminy Jillikers scene again, but we did it. It took 47 takes, but we did it. It's done. Yes, we have to do it again from different angles and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that, but the idea that we had kept revisiting this one stupid video, but I get it. This is for the great maybe. It could be a gigantic payday at the end of this. If not this year, then next, and if not next year, then next.
And you can't have the one shot that you missed, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So big thanks to Oliver, the person who owned that Westfalia, for coming back unpaid again and again.
Okay.
And also driving that thing into a soundstage for, some money shots in there. Thankfully, Nick and I weren't there for it. We were there for like 3 hell days. And those were days I just wanted to sleep. Because we just started at 9 and we went until midnight.
Dude.
And there were parts, and there wasn't really much for me to do. The script was already written at that point. I had some parts where I had to act. I had to sip tea.
Right.
I had to pretend to be a dad for like a little bit. I could help carry things, but mostly I was just fucking around, drinking coffee, bouncing off the walls, and then just sleeping in Ivan's car for a little bit. So it's one thing to be busy and to have a lot of stuff to do, and it's another thing to be busy but useless.
Right.
And nothing, just wait till we're done. And there is that one awful feeling where you've been up for almost a full day, like almost awake for, we're getting close to 20 hours of being awake, and all you want to do is sleep.
Yep.
You want nothing else but to just close your eyes and do nothing. So that was that. I don't know how Ivan does it. He just motors along.
Film folks are a different breed. Like my ex-wife went to film school, which meant I got volunteered for tons of student film projects. Right. And like the amount of work that it takes is just, it's mind blowing. You have to be there to understand the caliber of it. Yeah.
And, oh my God, lighting.
Right.
We set up lights for 2 hours.
Right. And I mean, just look at the sound. Like sound is son of a bitch.
We've been effing with sound, and turns out the solution is stupid. It's my fleece jacket making static, making static electricity. And I'm not grounded here because the way I sit, I'm separated from the ground, because you're going to like this. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up.
Let's see it. Let's see it, Brian.
Take it down below.
Take us with you.
I'll see how. Can you? No, you can't. It's dark.
Damn
I'm going to go get a shop light. Remember, Brian, you're wired to the table. Be right back. Camera. And for those of people watching, great. And for people who are listening, I am taking my webcam off its stand, which is two pieces of wood screwed together. It also holds a tablet.
Yeah, it works.
But down below my desk, I have foot risers.
Are those valve covers for? They
are valve covers. Can you tell what kind of engine these came from?
Absolutely. I'm gonna get it. That looks like a V6 size, but that's about all I can tell.
You need some more cylinders.
Okay, so it's going to be a V8. Is it a Coyote?
Is it like a flathead V8?
No, newer than that.
Yeah. Ford?
Yeah, they are Fords.
Okay,
yes.
All right.
So like a 302?
Yeah, you got
Coyote?
Nope, these are Windsor block.
Windsor, okay. All right.
These are Windsor aluminum heads.
Uh-huh.
They're aluminum heads, not stamped steel, which means these came from either a Mustang or a Thunderbird.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So these things were originally the cylinder heads that were going to be on my car, the Vagabond Falcon, but one of them has a crack in it, so we were able to get aftermarket ones. And instead of just throwing these out, these, I should say they're rocker covers.
That's a good sound, that metal thunk.
But if, man, you want footrests for your computer,
I like that.
Go to a junkyard and get a Scotch-Brite. They are the perfect size.
Yeah, just get like
just like deconstruct an Ethernet cable and run a ground wire over to your baseboards.
Yeah.
How do you ground? And also my PC is elevated off the ground just so it doesn't suck as much dust into it.
Yeah.
But what do you mean deconstruct an Ethernet cord?
All you need is a piece of copper between those valve covers and like your, whatever you touched to de-static yourself, like the you would take the path of least resistance
and one hole in your sock for your bare toe to touch it.
Yeah,
you need that.
You'll always be grounded.
Yeah. Emotionally, physically, yes. Electrically, yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The valve covers made me think of when I took a Saab cylinder head into a machine shop, and the guy, like the gruff dude at the machine shop to have it redecked, like just looked up and goes, Saab? And like just from the cylinder head, I was like, okay, I'm obviously in the right place. Yeah. That visual. Yeah. So nice.
How much, generally, you don't have to say if you don't want to, but how much did it cost to have a cylinder head redone?
I think it was somewhere in the $120, $150 range. Yeah. Okay. It was a redeck and a valve job. So maybe close to 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
When the valve job, is it like lapping them in? Did they have to do it by hand with the little spinny thing, or they had a machine for it?
Machine for it. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it came back with that nice coating, for the valve surfaces. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. It looked really good. Yeah. And you install it and you just think like, it's never going to be this pretty ever again. No one will ever see it. No one will ever see it. Yeah. But
take those pictures right there. I have beautiful pictures as when my engine went into the Falcon. I'm like, this paint is fresh.
Yep.
There's no oil on this. It's brilliant.
Yep.
And it's never going to be like this again. The closest thing, or the closest, cheapest bang for your buck thing for cleaning engines is scrubbing bubbles or the equivalent vacuum cleaner.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to make sure you don't get on too many electrical contact points. But other than that, that's one of those. Spray it on, leave it. It just all turns into mud and just drips off. Works great on motorcycles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I managed to get my hands on some Lysol wipes, some scrubbing bubbles were the only disinfectant I had in my house.
Oh, did you?
I don't know what it's done to my body, but I was wiping down takeout containers with scrubbing bubbles. So, I can taste the color blue now, but I'm fine.
It's like a mild degreaser. You can supposedly you can achieve the same thing with a pine saw. A friend of mine, Justin Kramer, he has a YouTube channel called Fuel Injection Sucks. And he also owns a repair shop. Shout out to Catasauqua Auto Repair. He was also a certified welder, welded up the new transmission tunnel for the Falcon, set the timing, put the new I wholeheartedly recommend if you have an engine with a distributor and you need to put a new distributor in it, use Pertronics. I recommend that over HEI. I recommend that over what's the one that all the Wingadingas put in their car with
MSI?
the big red box? MSI?
Yeah. Yep.
If you're just having a regular street car rolling around, you don't need an MSD ignition.
Oh, okay.
Pertronics is just great.
Nice.
Car runs better.
Nice.
And it almost looks stock too. Please ditch points ignition. I know it's great to have people with points distributors. I messed with them once. It's like, this is stupid. You can get one out of the box that runs better and will never come out of time with this. Anyway, so Justin Kramer. Wait, how did I get on Justin Kramer?
You were talking about him welding up a transmission tunnel in the
and scrubbing bubbles.
And scrubbing bubbles, yeah.
Oh, right. He
Yeah.
has this thing of cleaning carburetors where you take the entire carburetor, where you got to take the rubber out of it and just dunk it in a bucket of Pine Sol.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just cleans it.
Yeah.
And in truth, it does. It's not going to clean it as well as getting in there with the guitar strings and all that stuff to clean out all the passages. But if you just got an old carburetor and you need to slap on something, and if it works, I did that on a motorcycle. It worked great.
Nice, man. Yeah.
The first actual piece of helpful advice that has ever aired on this show.
Really?
So we'll make sure to edit it out. Don't worry.
Yep. I think we had audio issues during that exact spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Westfalia video is like Ian mentioned at the top of the show, it is just straight gorgeous. And so, so walk us through what you had in your head, what you were hoping to make versus the final result. Like, kind of talk us through that.
Like John Wayne in The Searchers, I defaulted to the director.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't want me in the visuals. I wanted this to be to people to see this is something totally different. Because when I film a car, I'm like 40% of it, 40 to 20% of it is still shots that are just keyframed.
Yeah, just
like
Ken Burns across the screen. Yeah.
Because, hey, that's a really high resolution frame.
Right.
If I need of something specific, I don't have any macro lenses. I just flip it to photo mode. And because what's my camera? The main camera is a Nikon D750, which how many megapixels is that? I don't even know.
An insane amount, right?
Nikon D750. It's a full frame.
Yeah. So one still frame is going to be more than a 4K image size.
24 megapixels.
Right. Exactly.
So
yeah,
fantastic. And so you can just crop like crazy and you're still at 1080p.
Right. Right.
It's fine. So that's me just taking tons of photos, and I can film a car in an hour and a half.
Okay.
Film an entire episode in an hour and a half if you hustle.
Nice.
2 if we yuck around. 3 if the volunteer is really interesting and it's a car I like and I spend out. We drive it for a while because it's so cool.
Dude, that's nailing the time to get that quantity of footage. That is that is muscle memory and practice. Yeah.
Nick and I work very well together. Nick will take notes. I start filming. My camera doesn't stop. Got the extra batteries ready. Just swap them out. Yeah. Have a tripod ratchet strapped in the back of my Forester, and that gets the on the road shots. A tri-gripper, film tools for the inside of the front windshield forward. We got radios, we got earpieces, and we just done. Yeah. The whole idea when I film regular car reviews is the biggest thing that's the biggest thing that can throw a shoot or make trouble isn't even the weather, it's the concerned citizen. Okay. Whose entire life is to make your business their business. Okay. They're the repeat customer to 911. Right. That's them. Right. They're the people who Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, wants people to rat on each other because they're standing too close on the sidewalk. That type of person. I've never had a run-in with them, but I know the type because I used to work a job as a lister. I got a job, a lister. They don't really go. It's not exactly door to door. I was hired by this company called National Survey and something or other. And they had this thing with the National Children's Survey. It was basically child welfare. And what they needed a foot person to do, they hired like 6 people in my area, and this was back in 2009, I believe.
All right.
Late 2009, the summer of 2009, summer 2009. And no, this was slightly before. No, wait, yeah, because I finished grad school part 1. Yeah, summer 2009. And Google Maps wasn't quite the HAL 9000 that it was today.
Right.
So there were some neighborhoods in Pennsylvania that didn't have street view and the resolution wasn't good. What they needed was a flesh and blood person. They had this big, we all got this big 3-ring binder and with addresses in them. And our job was to go to this town and verify if this address existed.
Not to interact with anyone, but just to verify that it was indeed hadn't burned down, wasn't an error, it was a real place.
Yeah. Wasn't fraud.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Someone wasn't trying to defraud the government.
Okay.
So got the cops called on me the first time out because there's a person in this strange tiny town in PA. And he's walking around from house to house with a big clipboard, not saying anything, writing things down. It must be someone who's going to rob you.
Right.
So I had paperwork and everything. So what I learned is that these people are out there. They have no life. They have no jobs. They have tons of cats, probably a bunch of ferrets running around in the inside of their house. They drive like a 2002 Dodge. No, excuse me. No, that's too highbrow. Plymouth Voyager.
There we go.
It's maroon. It has one of the doors doesn't work. One of the doors doesn't work. It's got plastic wrap on one of the windows. It's got red cellophane tape over one of the taillights. It has one of the wheels has got a permanent space saver donut on it. That's on there for life, man.
The browser homepage is Nextdoor. Their favorite website.
There are 3 child seats on the inside, and gosh darn it.
Yeah.
It's that car. Those people are out there.
They walk amongst us, Brian.
Yeah. So when we film and we're going around, my next car will probably have windows, like factory tinted windows. My current car doesn't have it. So you can see that people are filming on the outside of it. The next one, I may have to just run at a higher ISO just to get through a tinted window.
Yeah.
So eventually, I'm going to replace my 2004, my $5,000 Forester.
No, you're going to hand that down to your grandchildren is what you're going to do.
Well, we're at 200,000 miles, and I was talking to Justin Kramer, the guy with the fuel injection sucks in his auto repair shop.
Yeah.
And we're like, I think the head gaskets are good. I think they're going to last. They were done at 100,000 miles by the previous owner. But now we're at 200,000 miles. And Justin Kramer just said flatly out, no, they're going to blow. It's an EJ25 engine. They blow head gaskets every 100,000 miles. Yeah. And it's like, we just keep watching on it. And he said, when it looks like it's dirty right around where the cylinder head meets the block, he said they slow blow. Subarus don't blow out crazy. They'll blow over the course of a few months.
Okay.
And then after that, your temperature gauge, and for people who are just listening to audio, I'm holding my finger flat. The temperature gauge will go from flat to 1 millimeter up. That means your head gaskets are blowing. Just this tiny thing is trouble.
I like that. Everything okay? Oh my God, we're all gonna die. Yeah. That's the difference of airline seat reclining. Like, I'm so uncomfortable. Oh God, this is so relaxing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
A huge tangent there from like film and stuff.
No, we were talking about like how you can just knock out the regular car reviews episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. So to make something that looks okay, to make something that looks wow, that's good, is a month.
Oh, dude.
We're just stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what? How do you feel? How do you feel about the final product?
Love it.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't pull this off. I couldn't make a love letter to Toronto.
Okay.
Visually.
Yeah.
And make you feel things visually. Yeah.
Okay.
He had this cloud mount thing on the front of his car where it was like, I mean, you can look it up what a cloud mount is. It attaches to magnets on the hood of your car, and then you ratchet strap the whole thing down.
Oh,
so
nice.
It doesn't fly off. But then that thing moves up and down, and then they had a gimbal on top of it, and someone inside pulling focus. Another person with the gigantic RC radio airplane controller controlling the camera.
Yes.
And all for shots that are there for a little bit and then they go away.
Isn't it insane the amount of stuff that you need for like a half-second cut shot, right?
Yeah.
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 It's the type of thing that like the most viewers wouldn't even notice in the moment, but they would notice if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like there are little things that I wouldn't have thought of. Like I have a Bernie would have won joke in it. But a few scenes before that, the camera pans over the car and there's a 2016 loading you visually for a joke that's about to come in about 45 seconds.
Yeah.
When you're talking about something else.
It's Chekhov's candidate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. A Chekhov candidate?
Chekhov's gun, you know, like the film. Yeah. Chekhov's.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, took a second.
No problem. Yeah. Yeah. It's
so what I really liked about it, and I don't know how much of this was you and or the cinematographer, but like you were able to maintain sort of your voice from your normal video, but kind of just like translate it up. And that doesn't always work. Like think of every band that you've loved that's gotten a budget and then sounds totally different and terrible next time. So, I mean, that's really impressive that you were able to translate your voice to higher production values.
The script went through a number of rewrites, and which I'm not used to. Well, it's not that like RCR scripts don't get rewrites, but Nick and I are so used to like we'll do one or two of each other, and then I'll do a final one. I have one going on right now, and it's in the other room. I'll probably record it tomorrow. But when we did that, even doing it in my little apartment, even though I live out here in the country, Ivan wasn't satisfied with the boominess of my room. Thankfully, big shout out to Kutztown University Radio that allowed us to use their production room to record what you heard there. And then, of course, it went on to Ivan's fancy thing that recorded it. I think it was one of the Zoom competitors, but I forget. I think it was a Tascam.
Tascam, yeah. I have a DSLR Tascam recorder that like hooks onto the bottom of a DSLR. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice.
They made one that has VU meters on it, and that was the one that he was using. I'll have to ask him. Maybe it's not a Tascam, but whatever. It like. I kept saying, I think my Zoom is good, but he wanted to use his own gear, so
sure,
I was familiar with that. So yeah, that helped that he was familiar with what RCR does, and then was able to marry footage to it. Normally, when RCR is filmed, it's done. The car is filmed first,
right,
and we filmed just a Whitman sampler box of stuff. And then when we write the narrative, maybe half of that has to do with what we're filming.
Okay. Okay.
And then if not, fuck it.
Right.
Like if I have something that doesn't match what I'm talking about, it's usually just the head camera, me driving footage.
Right.
But that's just normal and that works.
That's just like the base layer fill in. Right. Yeah.
But Ivan said everything we're talking about has to be relevant on the screen. Now, all the nonsense I say, we got to go film that stuff. Now, granted, we went for sentimentality. So he had friends and family. We went to a farm and we put a canoe in the water. And they got to film, and they enlisted the help of his friend and the nephew and everything to go set up the tent and stuff, or excuse me, set up the pop-up roof on the Vanagon Westfalia. And then, gosh darn, that part looked really nice. Like the bit where the guy looks into the camera and says, you realize that your parents were just making it up as they went along too. And now now your name falls away and all that's left is dad. And so, that was a good shot that he figured out right there.
Nice. Is that like the hairs on the back of your neck standing up when you see that finally come together?
I'm like, okay, I get this now. Takes a lot of time to get that emotional ting out of it. Like, So hopefully somebody with money is going to say, hey, gosh, would I buy a house or would I just buy another stupid car?
I have a few questions. Given what you went through to make this, right? Like the long hours, the what you've been through, like, can you see yourself wanting to throw yourself back in that environment over and over again?
No.
Okay.
Ivan and I talked about this. I am more useful financially and a better value to production by just being a writer.
Okay.
What I would like to do, say we got picked up.
Sure.
I show up for one day, maybe two, and I just hang out with the car. Like Nick and I just hang out with the owner. We just drive the car around whatever city or town or field or municipality or borough in which this guy lives, and we just get a feel for this car. Great, good. We write the script. We write the script, and then we just hand it off to Ivan and say, Ivan, visual inclination, do your thing, man. Okay. And then we find another car. The biggest thing would be to find somebody who would want to come back for reshoots and reshoots. Right. But when you have the money now to hire a PA, you have the money now to hire like a studio and things like that, then suddenly things are different. Right.
And there's studios all over the place. If you find a car somewhere, usually you can find some kind of soundstage or something that'll work. Right. Yeah. Yep. Nice. Okay. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like in that kind of projected future, do you feel okay? Is there part of you that's going to miss like being on set more, or do you feel like it's just more of an opportunity to like focus more on the writing and move on to the next thing?
I'd love to. My favorite part of the week is riding with Nick.
Okay.
And that's a big thing I miss now with the Rona, is that we can't go to our favorite coffee shops and just, dude, we're here until they fucking close. Right. I'm eating croissant sandwiches. I have this plate of eggs. I've got nuclear coffee. And it's just us and just the material. And Nick's on his laptop. I got my legal pads, and we just write this thing. Nice. That's fantastic. And it's cool to hang out with someone who you don't have to talk to. No. like we'll go by like 10 minutes. We're not saying a damn thing to each other. And then we're just throwing lines at each other. That's fantastic. Right. I love that. And then just bullshitting. And then the other people in the coffee shop don't know that their essence is working their way into this. Right. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna be so happy when I get to go back to stuff like that. Now we got enough to keep RCR going until June 8th. Okay. So we have plenty of stuff booked. Nice. Or footage that we already shot. Yeah. But as like, would I want to show up on film days? No, not really. Okay. I mean, handing it off to Ivan just would be fine. Unless I would say yes to if he needed a shot of me driving the car. Right. Then it's just him and me in the in the car driving around, then yeah, that's fine. But I don't want this to be Top Gear, me talking to the camera.
Right.
I learned that I'm much more effective in expressing my thoughts on paper than I am impromptu on a camera. Unless it's me just talking about gross stuff and the time I jerked off in the trunk of my 2000 Dodge Neon at Kevin Ackery's graduation party because the party took a lull and I had the itis from eating boiled hamburgers, the kind of hamburgers in the 90s where they came inside of the aluminum foil tray that are kept alive by sterno, and I don't know what else to do. And somebody's having an issue with, like, someone's breaking up with someone else because they're going off to college in different states. So I thought the thing to do was crank it in the back of a Chrysler Corporation vehicle. And every part of that story is true.
Just as a hypothetical.
I will say you're limber if the trunk was closed. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I like that car. That was my first car.
Dodge Neon?
Dodge Neon. Yep.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were a car. I had a dream. I just realized I had a dream the other night. Oh my God. Somebody in my neighborhood, in my dream, tried to give me a Dodge Neon that was like full on like white body racing spec that the driver's side rear door was crashed in, but they were trying to give it to me because they didn't want it anymore for free. And I wanted to drive it around to see how it really handled when it had that much weight removed from it and a roll cage. I just now remembered that dream. Yeah. Yeah.
Was your dream specific enough to know that was this a first or second gen Neon?
It was a first generation Neon. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was white, and for some reason, I mean, we're in Denver. It was a more tropical environment that I was in. It was like a Florida, some kind of thing. Yeah, like patio home.
Speaking of Denver, I was supposed to be there when?
I don't know.
Oh, I've got it here.
Yeah, you're not coming now, Brian. Sorry. If you do, doors are going to be locked for a little bit.
Normally we'd be like, come on in.
Yeah, I have a guest room you could crash in under normal circumstances, but we don't live in normal anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I think it was late in the summer, but who knows what travel is going to be.
Yeah.
The big question is going to be not next week, but the week after, when everybody's rent comes due, and whether or not that check comes through.
Yeah.
And whether or not we're going to do this again for another month.
Right.
I can keep going because I have enough money saved up and YouTube still is paying, but
nice.
Because there still is like O'Reilly's and other essential businesses that are open that are buying ads.
Okay.
But as far as what May is going to be, don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird future we have in front of us, right?
Yeah. I'm glad to be alive during this and to write about it. I mean, moments in my day, my favorite part of the day is two things. One, I will limit my alcohol consumption. It's tempted to just get blasted every night because fuck it. But having a beer with dinner every night, that's nice. And two, going and just riding my bicycle aimlessly around town.
Okay.
And just pretending it's 1997 again. I have no money.
Right.
I have to go do anything. So just wander around on your bicycle.
Yeah.
And listen to music.
Yeah. Pop on Helmet meantime and get after it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're talking my era. So it's going to be the Chemical Brothers or, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, man. I can never think of Get Busy Child by Crystal Method without thinking of Laser Tag, because there was one Laser Tag place that had like a mix that they would play, but they only had 8 songs, but one of them was Get Busy Child by Crystal Method.
Yeah.
That makes me think of Laser Tag.
Yeah, it was the Wipeout XL soundtrack from the PlayStation 1 game, probably. Yeah. Fluke Atom Bomb. Yeah. 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 No, we can go deep on big beat techno from the 90s. Yeah.
We'll be here for another 4 hours.
Speaking of music, I'm looking at that killer setup you have in the background. What is that?
Oh, all this stuff?
Gigantic rack.
So this is just a Amazon rack that you can get on the Amazons. It's just like a thing for rack mount. This is a $40 headphone amp. This is a splitter combiner joiner thing. This is the compressor that keeps us all even. And so when we scream, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
We don't blow out the levels. This is the lucky piece of clear coat from Ian's car, from his VW R32 that I have on there. And then my little Behringer mixer and the Zoom recorder for backup. And then I got a PC outside of the room. So
nice.
Yeah. We're both IT guys, so I'm going to find a way to make this insanely fucking complicated. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gone through a lot of revisions. The last time you were on, we were basically sitting under blankets in the room next door. Yeah.
You were sitting under what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Like with an old guitar, like a Line 6 guitar mixer. That was the only thing, like a rack mount guitar mixer that a friend gave me. That was all we had. And now look at us. Literally 124 YouTube subscribers later, here we are. So yeah. So anyway.
Well, I did want to ask you about one thing about the video, because it was one thing I noticed about it was that you, the big theme, and you kind of touched on it earlier, was nostalgia, and it's something that you talk about a lot.
Yeah.
Right? The wing-a-dingas and all that, and I was just wondering what you thought about, because we're kind of starting to see it now with our generation, speaking of conversations of big beat techno and stuff, with like the bigger trailer stuff.
Come,
But exactly, right? Like, how is that? The wing-a-dingas have had such a stranglehold on car culture for such a long time, and like people's perception of car culture. So what do you think our generation's nostalgia is going to do to car culture? Like, how do you think it's going to change it, or are we going to be just as bad?
Gosh, as our generation starts to have more disposable income, we're going to long for 1997 really, really, really bad.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing it. A good barometer for that is Bring a Trailer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing a 2000 model Honda Civic SI sell for $15,000.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Now, granted, it had 5,000 miles on it.
Okay.
But still.
What did that 300 go for that we saw, 2 days ago, Ian? The twin turbo.
$38,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 300 ZX.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like Z cars for me are just kind of whatever.
But 38 grand.
Great.
Yeah.
How much do you want your childhood back? How much do you want 1997 to come back again?
Enough to pay.
Much?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, I stepped on you.
Oh, no, it's a problem. Sorry. Like, how much do you want to feel the exuberant rush of the first jump into a in-ground swimming pool on the first week of summer vacation?
Right.
Knowing that you've made honor roll and everybody's here at the pool party and the burgers are cooking and God's on his throne. And the sky is blue and you can smell grass clippings. And you know what? You studied for your driver's test and it's coming soon. You're there playing Gran Turismo, whatever, which one is in your history. For me, it was 1.
Yeah.
I remember Parappa the Rapper came out the same year I had to get my driver's license. So there's one level where you had to get your driver's license, and I'm like, yo, the world is just turning toward me.
Like all of the 90s dashes, they were facing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, how much do you want to pay to feel 17 again?
Right.
And there is no answer to that question. You will pay whatever it takes to have that. Gosh, to be able to go back to a summer where all your friends are just hanging out and you're just, for us, it was Super Nintendo.
Nobody was Instagramming.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't about the stories.
No. Nick had this good line that said we had technology, but it didn't follow us out the door.
Yeah.
So,
that's poetic. That's beautiful.
yeah, Nick's great. Sorry, he couldn't be here for this, but
Oh no, it's okay.
we live in separate towns, so
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. For me, I only wanted that about $2,500 bad to buy a 1999 Saab Vigan. That was as bad as that was as much as I was willing to pay personally at this point in my life, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Ian, you're still hanging on to your car. Like, I mean, yeah. How long you've had your 2004 for a while?
Had it for 9 years.
Yeah, but you're right. It's up to the individual, and more than likely, there's going to be somebody that wants to pay more than you do for that same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a car you're buying.
Right.
It's memory.
Yeah.
I mean, look what Volkswagen did when they brought the Beetle back in the early 2000s, or maybe it was late 90s. People loved that thing.
Yeah. Right.
But it was, a previous generation to bring that thing back.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it goes back to exactly what you were talking about in your video, right? I mean, that was the same thing of like trying to recapture a moment more than it was about trying to solve a problem with a car, right? That wasn't solving any problems, that car. No. It was recapturing a memory.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And for all of its faults and great things, like that entire package was a way of recapturing that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Now, I never had any history with Volkswagen camper vans. They didn't exist for us. My town, it was all Chevy Express vans and Ford Econolines.
Gotcha.
The people who did have them.
Right.
And even then in my town, they were kind of aspirational. You roll up in a Corvette, you're cool.
Right. Right.
I think, gosh, what would I pay a lot of money for today? I already had my dream car was that I owned a AW11, a first gen MR2.
Right.
Granted, I own the AW11 Mark 1B, so there was like a generation gap between the beginnings of the first gen and the ends of the first one. There was a facelift that got better. They had a better transmission that resisted fifth gear pop out. I had that. I loved it, and then I got paranoid because I was afraid to park it anywhere.
Okay.
So I ended up not driving it. And also the interesting thing about the first gen AW11s that they didn't have a whole lot of sound deadening in them. The second generation had more, and the third generation, they were all convertibles. So whatever, you hear the wind over everything. Plus they were running a Corolla engine, which was dead quiet. But the first ones, when you got on the highway, it was just, I'm going to play with my levels here.
Let's get some Foley in here. Yeah.
Yeah. You hear it. That is you on the highway in a first generation MR2. It's tacked up way above 3,000 RPM in fifth gear. That tiny little engine, and it's right behind you. Like that rear window is on the right up against. It's like a single cab Ford Ranger or something.
Okay,
like
yeah.
It's right behind you, and the engine is right down at the upper part of your neck, like your collarbones or something. It's right back there. And the noise just bleeds right in. I remember I took 2 longish trips. One, I drove almost out to Pittsburgh in that thing. That was like 4 hours. And I'm wearing earplugs.
Okay.
I just wear earplugs, turn the windows down, crank the radio up just to hear not that little, the 1.6 back there just tacked up.
Okay.
Because that was a more difficult thing about that little engine. So. Oh, so you guys have Saabs. How did you? Why?
Why? Yeah, it's like that Tony Hawk tweet that like a kid recognizes him and says, "Are you Tony Hawk?" And Tony Hawk says, "Yes." And the kid goes, "Why?" Like, yeah. Why? Just speaking for myself, the Saab Vigan is absolute peak Saab in my opinion. Like Saab never did anything better, in my opinion. And it's just ridiculous and insane. And it's my track car. And so it's mostly stripped out and it's a lot of fun. And the person I bought it from on Craigslist, now we're great friends. And he's even been on the show and he's a great guy. He's from Maine. And so I don't know if you have any Mainers in your life, Brian, but I suggest you pick one up. Yeah.
What do you get for a Mainer?
Oh, I mean, you get a whole bunch of
chowder.
Chowder. Yeah. Crazy stories about like something with snowmobiles and, usually fire and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Boats and adventures. Yeah. Yeah. But
of all the flavors of rednecks in the US, Maine has the best. So it's like hands down.
Yeah. The hill folk of Maine are fantastic. Yeah.
Followed closely by Yoopers, I think.
Yeah.
Mainers and Yoopers. I think it's something about the cold, like brings out the real ingenious parts of redneckdom.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that Saab.
Yeah. And mine is the blue 3-door. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to do an RCR video, have at it.
Do I? I think I said yes to a guy with a Vigan that may be in Pennsylvania. Let me look up my email right now.
Okay.
Saab Vigan.
It probably has just as much rust as.
Yeah. There's a guy who had. A guy I said yes to.
Okay. Well, then I know you're going to do it right.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is a 1999.
Perfect. That's mine.
I'm gonna read his email. I won't read his name or his phone number. Title of the email: 1999 Lightning Blue Saab Vigan, Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. Dear Mr. Regular, I just picked up this car from New Hampshire not long ago. Went through a good bit of trouble to get it. I think it would make an interesting car review. Give me a call if you're interested and be down with it. And truth be told, a friend of mine lives in Mount Joy and I go there all the time.
Nice.
He says, okay, yes, let's do it. And then the Rona happened. I haven't got back.
Sure. Is it?
It says.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
This is the rundown of the car.
Okay.
GS 3-inch V2 downpipe exhaust with raised cat. GT 3-inch catback with twin tailpipe. GS. I don't know what GS is.
Genuine Saab. It's this tuner out of Springfield, Missouri, named Nick Taliaferro. He's basically the Saab guy. Springfield, Missouri. Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you see Taliaferro or GS, Genuine Saab, it's the legit real shit. Yeah.
Does he have a whole like factory cranking this stuff out?
Fabrication, CNC, 500 horsepower Vigan, all kinds of crazy stuff. He is the Saab guy.
Okay, this is getting more interesting now.
Yeah.
GS steering rack brace and clamp, GS 22mm rear sway bar,
Essential.
GS 6-point subframe brace, GS rear aero brake upgrade.
Okay.
DO88CAI. I don't know what that is.
Read that again. DO.
It's the direct. That's the ignition cassette, right?
Yeah.
DO88CAI.
CAI.
Or DO88 space CAI.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Cold air intake.
Oh, yeah,
Cold air intake.
Cold air intake. There we go.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Hot air intake. Well, it's a turbo, so whatever.
Yeah, but the intake whoosh is
lowering
beautiful.
springs, Bilstein sport shocks and struts, forged diverter valve.
Yeah.
And then he made a point, and after you talking about your machine work, he then says the cylinder head has 116,000 miles.
Yep.
And the block has 70,000 miles.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Did have a Bruce City boost gauge stage 3, but the tune was trash, so I yanked it out. Put the original 3-bar fuel pressure regulator back in with the stock ECU. I honestly prefer it that way. If you have any more questions, let me know.
Okay. The only questionable upgrade, in my opinion, is the 6-point subframe brace, because in a collision, that thing may come up through the floor into you.
Really?
Yeah. As long as you have the steering rack clamp and brace, you're good, because the torque steer on those things, it's like you need to accelerate like when you come out of toll booths on highways where you have like about 7 lanes, because it's just going to walk without that.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah. You're going to have a blast at full throttle.
What do they call that mod, Dave? That's the shorthand for that mod.
I can't remember. What is it?
Isn't it the Vigan Rescue Kit?
Oh yeah. It's called the Vigan Rescue Kit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The Vigan Rescue Kit. Yeah. And I mean, most people have put them into trees by now in the rain. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I added a picture there of the Saab to the chat.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can pull it up here. Yeah. Okay. Chat.
It looks like he has some like aggressive tread on those tires. I don't know if that's just just a trick of the lighting or if he had snow tires on them.
I think that's a winter setup. Mine is the same body style, same color. So those are the Gary Fisher wheels. Those are rare wheels. There was a Gary Fisher 9.5 station wagon that those came on. So those have been pillaged from a station wagon. It looks good, Brian. You're going to have a lot of fun driving this thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is mostly gutted, and it's I have a rear hatch brace, so it's more fun on the track, and it gets a little rotatey.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's a front wheel drive car.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It rotates.
Yep. I've made Ian pee himself a little bit in the passenger seat. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. He's a bad passenger. But yeah, so yeah. I don't know. So what's peak nostalgia car for you, Brian? What do you think?
Okay, we covered like classic Toyota. I had that. It was good. I sold it. I have my classic car, although that's from a time period when I wasn't around. And every now and again, I get I should get a DeLorean thing. But then
yes,
I've driven 3 different ones. The best one, the most fun, was the one that had the LS in it.
Okay. Okay.
But then what do I really want? I want to be liked by strangers.
Okay.
So there are other ways to go about that.
Sure. Sure. Just besides free hand jobs. With gloves on in the era that we're in.
Right.
Or you need one of the like little banana grabber things.
or a long mannequin arm.
I need that space claw that toy that everybody had. Clank, 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 clank. It's all plastic.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
I need someone to jerk me off with a power glove. With the Konami code on. And then I think when I do my Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist searching,
yeah,
a vehicle I keep coming back to is the 1963 Ford Galaxy convertible.
Oh yeah,
that has a almost perfectly clean shape to it.
Yeah.
I love the crap out of that thing.
Okay,
but I don't know I don't know if it'll fit in my garage. That's a big ass car.
It is. They are long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that's not something you want to leave outside. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. No. Right.
But on the other hand, a lot of the ones I see still have, I think they use a number of different engines that might have had a 302. It may have even a Y block carried around with them. I mean, me going to Wikipedia right now would just solve that question. I don't know when the 351 Windsor came out. They may have not had it. It may have had like some version of like a 327 is Chevrolet. I don't know what Ford's equivalent would have been in the early 60s.
They did do a 328.
They did do a 328?
Yeah, that was one of the Mustang engines, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me look up 1963 Ford GA, and they spelled it weird, Gaxlie. Nope, Galaxie.
Huh.
All right, so 1960, 1964 engines. Oh, you had a lot.
Okay.
When did they come out with all of these? Total amounts of engines. You either had the 233 straight 6, you had the 289 Windsor, you had the 292 Y block, which predates the Windsor. That's like their old V8. You had a 252 V8, you had a 390 V8, you had a 406, and you had the 427, 7 liters.
Well, geez.
Now, okay, in 63, the Galaxy 500, right.
Yep, just like the Reverend Horton Heat song.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Challenger, the 260 was the tiny one. The Y block, that's dumb. And 1963 also had 292 as the base V8 engine. The 260 was stupid. It was fine in the Falcon, but nothing else. 289 went into a lot of them. Ford continued after the 352 and 3. Ford just because they're all weird. That was back in the 60s when you bought a car, you could almost ask for any engine you wanted.
Right, right.
They had it. You could fill out those checkbooks or a big checklist and just ask for things, and they just build it.
Like a sushi menu. Yeah.
Yeah. Those days are gone.
Yeah, true. True. Okay. All right. Is there a nostalgia pull on the motorcycle side of you at all? We're not motorcycle folks ourselves. Okay. All right.
Yes.
his eyes light up.
Blake Wrong from Jalopnik wrote about this thing.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. I need like a picture or something. How much are you familiar with motorcycles? Do you have
with two wheels, right?
Yeah.
I know what a 900 CBRR is. You know, I know the difference between, you know, like BMWs have a shaft drive, you know, chain drive. I know Moto Guzzi. You know, so I know a little bit of the two-wheel stuff.
It's hard to get more 80s than that.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yes. Turbocharged motorcycle.
I want you firing out of the back of one of those like JDM Toyota 4Runners with a similar paint scheme, like just like wheeling out of the back while like, I don't know, Roman's back there doing a guitar solo and like in Mad Max Fury Road. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Those things are ungodly complicated.
Okay.
They are fuel injected in the 80s.
Okay.
On a motorcycle. They have an ECU.
Okay.
It's a freaking Intellivision.
Okay.
So
all right.
If that ECU and those circuit board breaks, that's it. You're fucked.
Okay.
There's nothing. There's no repairing that.
And it's 80s electronics. Yeah.
Yeah. They also made one with 650 cc's of displacement that in 1980 makes 100 horsepower.
Dear Lord. What?
Freaking quick. Well, they're laggy as shit. They also have no intercoolers, so they're hot air turbos. But it doesn't matter because there's just wind cooling everything. So
how would you not turn into a pink mist as soon as you owned one?
Oh gosh,
but a happy
it's way
mist,
too much technology.
Sure.
And the thing is, they are built off of one of the strangest engines Toyota made. That is a longitudinally mounted V-twin.
Oh,
so the cylinders stick out on either side. Like
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I owned a version of that, a naturally aspirated version of that. I owned the, they called it the Honda Silverwing.
It also looks like it has tires from before traction was invented.
Oh yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah.
You'll lean over in those things. Like, okay.
It's really cool looking though.
It's one on Cycle Trader.
I mean, to be honest, I really just want the fairing that says turbo on it.
Yeah. Can I just put that
just
on my
like
chest?
For my desk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What are they called?
What if you had a toilet with that mounted on the front of it, Ian?
Turbo.
Oh God, that'd be amazing.
Huh. Anything
So
that's
80
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
I'm trying to grab this picture, maybe copied image location. Let me see if that works in here. If you can actually see just this one image. There it goes.
Yep.
So that is a grandpa type motorcycle.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Has the basis of the same engine, the same block, maybe the different cylinder heads as the turbo model.
Okay.
So that just takes regular octane. And you can just roll around on it. Runs to a shaft drive. So they built a turbo bike out of that grandpa looking thing.
Oh, wow.
Now,
okay.
What Honda was trying to do is they were trying to out Guzzi Moto Guzzi. The fun thing about that engine is the transmission that's attached to it turns in the opposite direction of the crankshaft.
But for why?
To eliminate torque steer.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
That was a problem that Moto Guzzi's have. Because if you have a longitudinal engine on a motorcycle, crankshaft is in one direction, connected to a transmission directly behind it that's also turning in the same direction, which is connected to, these are drive shaft bikes, have a drive shaft that's also turning in the same direction. You get on that, it wants to lean the bike over.
Yeah.
So Honda figured out a way to
the bicycle wheel and the ball bearings, right? Like,
you got it.
Okay.
So Honda figured out how to make a Moto Guzzi engine, but counter rotate the transmission to eliminate that and make it really reliable. That is a push rod engine that revs to 10,000 RPM.
Well, they can just fuck right off with that witchcraft.
It's brilliant. I kind of miss that bike. It's an angry bike. Actually, it's a smooth bike, but you get on it, it gets angry.
Okay.
And it's really comfortable. They had air suspension.
Oh, no
that you would
way.
Put a bicycle pump up to and just pump up for resistance.
Okay.
It took like 2 or 3 pumps because you're just filling a little tube.
Yeah.
But you notice that thing has a fucking monoshock in the back.
Oh, wait,
like
hang on.
Modern motorcycle. Like they had the option for the monoshock in the back. Some of them had twins.
Okay.
Like twin shocks that were just coils. But the upgraded ones, the Silver Wings, had air suspension, both front and rear.
Wow.
They were great. Now it was just air preload that you just put the bicycle pump to and just you would pump it up and the back would raise a little bit, lower in the bit.
Okay. Did you have like a chart for like rider weight to PSI or just not even that?
There was a little stamp thing on the side of the bike somewhere that would say, with passenger, with cargo, this is how much pressure you run.
Okay. Yeah. My mountain bike shock has the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. And then when I eat a bunch of burritos and candy, I have to add more air to it. Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you what, man, mountain bikes. Like I have bought when the quarantine started, I ran out and bought a bicycle.
Good.
I haven't been ever into bicycles because before it was just Walmart is where you get the bicycles.
Okay.
But now, like, my gym's closed, so I got to get exercise some way.
Yeah.
So everybody's on their bicycles. So I went down to my local bike shop that is still open. They probably got a waiver from our governor as an essential business because they haven't closed. And I went in and was like, I would like one bicycle, please. They're like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because stuff has changed since 2001.
Right. Now it's like walking in and say, I'd like a car, please. Right.
Right. Like,
how many children do you have? Where are you going? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what'd you walk out with?
I walked out with a giant Talon.
Okay. Yeah.
29-inch.
Sure. Yeah. You're a fellow tall, right? How tall are you?
I'm about 5'10", 5'11".
Oh, okay. All right.
So I did notice that it hurt my arms because bars have gotten really wide on mountain bikes.
Yeah, but that's wrong for your neck of the woods because you cut through trees. Like the wide bars are good out here in Colorado, but I grew up in Missouri and we had narrow bars, and you should have more narrow bars because you
like narrow bars.
Yeah, because you go. It's like the little land speeder thing in Star Wars. Right? Yeah. You
can't do single track on this.
Yeah. You just roll it out like ape hangers. Like yeah. Okay.
So I did get a stem riser to rise them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I got my little drinky cage.
You need one of those.
I bought a bike pump because now the bikes don't use car stems anymore. They got these weird little needle things, Presto valves.
Yeah, welcome to Presto world. Yeah.
Okay, got that. My butt bone hurts all the time when the seats get rock hard.
Yep. Are you wearing the plum smugglers?
Diapers in them.
Yep. You got to wear the plum smugglers. You got to lycra up. Yep.
While you're doing this, we're going to re-edit this so it just shows the Honda Silver Wing while you're saying all that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm riding it almost every day.
Nice.
My butt hurts less.
Yeah.
The more I ride it.
Your sit bones have to build up. Yeah.
The stem risers helped a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to dump any more money into this thing.
Right.
Although I did have second guesses when I went back for the stem riser, and then I saw that they did have a nice like casual bike that still had shocks and knobby tires on it, but it had a big wide seat and upright handlebars. I'm like, I'll bet for what I'm doing, going out on like dirt roads and stuff, that's probably all I need. Right. But whatever, I got this bigger bike now. And I did buy a helmet. Good. And I bought a headlight and a tail light that flashes really bright.
Okay, good. Yeah, you can't go anywhere without the tail light. I rock it during the day, flashy mode, even during the day. Yep. I've known too many people get popped on bikes. Yeah. Yep.
People they're looking at their phones just like riding a motorcycle. They're not looking for you.
Yep. Yeah. You know the risk you're at, being a motorcycle rider. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's
when in doubt, I'm riding my motorcycle. I just turn the high beam on.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. You're looking at me.
Yeah.
You're looking at me, thinking of me. So I'll use my horn liberally.
Yeah. How do you feel about the cycling worlds and the car worlds coming together? Because I ride a lot of bicycles. I have my own opinions on this, but I've always felt like those two worlds are a little bit fraught, but I think we have more in common than we realize,
Yeah, people aren't seeing us, but the bike I ride still has one of the largest mufflers attached to it.
Okay.
So it's quite quiet. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if cyclists can hear me coming.
Okay.
Because there's less of that noise of tires approaching.
Okay.
Right.
There's only two of them and they're tiny.
Right.
And on your average 4-cylinder motorcycle that you buy from the shop or buy from a showroom, the loudest thing that you normally are hearing when that engine is idling or just cruising around is the sound of those fuel injectors going. They really are not loud at all.
Okay.
So on a day when you got some wind and some trees making noise, you may not hear that motorcycle until it's right up on you. Sure. Now, I think rear view mirrors are a good thing on bicycles to see behind you.
Yeah.
Or some people have the Johnny mnemonic little mirror right there on their head.
Yeah.
Your head. I think that's good.
Yeah.
And I notice that when I'm riding my bicycle, I am listening to podcasts, so I am tuned the fuck out.
Oh no, and Brian, you got to do one earbud, man. One. Yeah, that's. Oh. Yeah, I'm concerned about your safety.
Okay.
but yeah, it's a good time to absorb some podcasts, right? Yeah.
You'd like to describe things as like feelings, from your youth. Having Dave as your friend is the feeling of your mom doing the wiggle on your waistband when you're at JCPenney to make sure they fit right. That's what it's like to have Dave as a friend.
Yeah, you're welcome. I apologize for den mothering you all the way from Denver. But yeah, okay, all right.
I do wave. When I'm on my bicycle, I'll wave to motorcycles.
Sure.
But I notice in general, people are waving to each other just like, hey, you're outside. I'm outside too. Hello.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Yeah. It's a different time for that. It's like, another human.
God, biological, carbon life form like I.
Yeah. You're not a frozen pizza. Yeah. Okay. I love the.
I don't think I've gotten any sauce from bicycle riders when I'm riding around. Although I notice when I'm on a motorcycle, if I can't see over the next rise, or if there's a turn coming up, I will either hang back behind the bicycle rider and not pass, or I will pass them in the same lane.
Okay. Yeah.
Which may not be the nicest thing in the world.
As long as it's 3 feet, you're good. As long as you've got 3 feet on them, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, nobody should ever be out there riding, whether you're in a car, whether you're on a motorcycle or on a bicycle, like you're the only thing that's ever going to be on the road that day, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, not to say we don't get zoned out. I literally got scared by my own shadow while I was riding the other day.
Ooh,
so
what happened?
For real, I was riding and I've been alone so much in my life that I looked down and saw my shadow and thought someone was close to me. And I got super spooked.
6 feet.
Yeah.
6 feet.
Yeah. The Rona.
Back it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm liking the no cars in the middle of my town.
Yeah.
I'm just riding a bicycle down the middle of the street sometimes. Like, there's no one here, man.
Right.
I'm sailing through stop signs. I'm like, I can see.
Yeah.
Denver
I'm
has
going down the
shut
middle of
down.
the street down a downhill. And I'm like, this is neat.
Yeah.
And I think actually for the street riding, for like going downhill, that is the one nicer thing about having a larger frame bike.
Yeah.
That it is, I'm not wobbly at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh, Brian, we've taken a lot of your time this evening.
Okay.
But the video is incredibly gorgeous, and honestly, I could talk to you all night. I don't know what else you have going, but yeah, this
I'm
is
probably going to take a shower. It's 10:20 p.m. So probably get second helping, play some video games.
Okay.
Tomorrow I record something, and then what's tomorrow? Friday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tomorrow we just keep doing podcasts just to keep the hype train and chugging away.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
one tomorrow and then one Saturday.
Nice.
And I think then after that, we may lay it to rest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nice. I'm fascinated with the angle that you're coming at it with the Westfalia video, because I think you've identified a gap in automotive media, right?
Mm-hmm.
That where you've removed the host and the host presence, but still given a host the voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really admire that. And like Ian was saying, like, I'm really thankful that, and it's really awesome to see that translates to a medium that has those higher production values. It's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Thank goodness for those guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate it that you like it so much.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there has to be a big portion of you that just feels like a lot of everything that you've been doing has led to something like this, right?
You know what? I have thought about that. Like, first of all, the idea that RCR works at all on YouTube, that someone wants to hear,
right.
Like they want a car review, but they also want to hear a guy they want to have a guy talking about how he's circumcised asymmetrically. And it's all freaking nasty. Like, my doctor was drinking that day.
Okay.
And then like, all right, good, great. And here we go, Honda Prelude.
I don't know. It like if you like think about when you leave your house for the day, right? And you lock your door, right? And then you question whether or not you did that, right? Because there wasn't a unique kind of event that happened during that time, right? You just you just I like the light.
I don't know. I'm just LEDs don't look very good. Like, for the people who just listen to it, I'm just playing with a shop light and it's all blue.
Also, I love that you had a shop light so close when you needed one. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
You were like, I'm gonna
fucking around right here.
No, wow,
snap on.
Yeah, not the faff off.
This was when we were building the Vagabond Falcon. Like, the Snap-on truck came by.
Oh man,
like,
okay.
Here you go. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take one of those gigantic, like with the big magnets on the bottom, because at Bruce Hen's Garage, he loves these things. They're freaking tough as shit. Although there is a Chinese knockoff of these. These things are $65.
Oh dear.
And
Lord.
then for a flashlight, yeah. But when you take it apart, like, it's the flashlight is here and the rest is just armor.
Yeah.
Although it is nice to have something that pivots.
Oh,
you can just stick it on the car. It'll run for hours. But there is a Chinese knockoff version that is kind of crispy and junky for like 20.
Okay. Okay.
And they're USB, so stuff like that. Anyway, they are a pretty gosh darn nice light, and they hold up to like getting sprayed with like brake clean and things. So that's really what you're paying for.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be making your money with one of these things, you want it to hold up more than a few months. This is not Harbor Freight stuff.
Nice.
But if you want a nice shop light, just get the Chinese knockoff version. Honestly, it's like 90% of what this is.
Okay.
And I had one and I lost it, but I lost it and I didn't care.
Okay. Right. Yeah. The only expensive pair of sunglasses is the one I haven't lost yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Nice, man. Nice. I don't know. I'm really excited for what the future holds for you. This is the voice that you have in this video and what you've built up leading up to it is so awesome, man. It's I mean, you know, we've been hugely inspired by your work. You know, we're not messing around here. And
we try to say something new when we do any videos, or, you know, with our show, we talk about nostalgia and all that sort of stuff too. So it's cool to see someone being successful doing that same thing. So
yeah. And it's I don't know, and I've always loved the way that like everything is accepted, faults and all, right? The whole context of everything, right? Yeah, because when nostalgia turns to bullshit when you don't have those faults in your view, right? Yeah. I don't know. I really love it. I love the way you embrace that. Thanks. Yeah. And I got the link for the Chinese knockoff. I'm adding them to the cart right now.
Yeah.
add to cart. Yeah.
Well, I think we did a car show. So thank you so much for your time. And I know like time zone, staying up late. So I appreciate that. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Have a great night, guys.
Yeah, anytime.
You too, Brian.